Welcome back to Jena's garden. So here is a look at what our property looks like. We are in a neighborhood on 3/4 of an acre. These are some evergreens that I planted about 6 years ago, and a cypress and some other bushes here. This yard, when we first moved in, had no plants or trees whatsoever, only these evergreens that you see back here behind the house. These here are some crepe myrtles up front in this front row that I planted a few years back. And then behind these crepe myrtles are some Chinese tallows that I planted 4 years ago that are currently about, 15 foot tall, and they were only 6 inches tall when I planted them. I have another row behind these trees. It's a little orchard here that are 3 years old. They were beautiful this fall. Over here we've got some some golden maples, along with some this right here, I don't know if you can tell, but it is a weeping willow. And then I've got lots of oak trees right here. 20 years ago I planted these Leland cypress, and they are huge. I believe they're full grown now. Then we have a river birch, and then a small island here that I've made with some crepe myrtles. And there's my little dog Basil. He's 8 months old. He is a sweet baby. Anyway, we have got some around here. Let me go back to the front. A red bud tree right here that I planted 3 years ago, and then another red bud tree here. So I'm very excited to show y'all what it looks like in the spring. Again, it's January 3rd here, and I just am new to YouTube. I'm a hairdresser, and just wanted to start gardening. And my son Walker, he just turned 24, and he said, "Mom, you should do it." So I'm doing it. Here we have a row of gardenia bushes, and then I've got some Chinese or Japanese boxwood that I planted in the spring. I've got a large Japanese maple that we planted about 18 years ago. Then I've got some boxwood hedges here. Now, this flower bed right here that you see in the yard, I just put this in late spring, early summer, and planted over 100 bulbs of tulips. And then I planted right here, I don't know if you can see little sprouts, some daylilies, a few right there. And I've got some other plants right here that I planted late fall. These are Shasta daisies that are starting to come up, and you will see them this spring. And then I've got some autumn joy sedum right in front of this, and a lot of pansies that I planted. Back here I've got a lot of cleanup to do, but I'll show you that in the next video. I'll have all this cleaned up, and And this is a leopard plant. It's beautiful. Doesn't look hot right now, but it will be glorious in the spring. This is a little birdhouse that I made out of a gourd a couple of years ago. It was a fun project. There is a little Carolina wrenfinch living in it, and another little birdhouse that I made out of some bark that I picked up around the house. Then you go through here into the backyard. Here's are some coral bells, and then as we go through the backyard, this is what it currently looks like. We have so many oak trees that we get so many leaves that fall, and we have to rake leaves and blow leaves, gosh, more than 4 times a year. But this is what the garden currently looks like. And this is our property over here as well. Then we are honeybee keepers. The company is called Rooster Honey. Our yard backs up to a pasture of 5 acres. So you can see the pasture here behind the bees. And then it goes on around. There's little Basil. And in our backyard, the pasture goes behind this fence. Now right here, this bed, I just did, about 2 years ago, and divided up, over 200 liriope that I had growing in the yard and other places over the last 20 years. Then this flower bed here, this is new that I put in last year, and we have some oak leaf hydrangeas here, and then a fragrant tea olive here, some azaleas, and then limelight hydrangea in the front, some gardenia bushes, some encore azalea bushes, and there's my husband back there. He's building a shed out of some, well, he actually got some wood from this really old barn down the road that they tore down, and it's over 100 years old, so he's repurposing it. So this is continuing our backyard. Got a lot of cleanup to do, but it will look great in the springtime. Okay, if you'll come right over here, I'll show you the rest of it. Let's see. This is another flower bed that I did about 2 years ago. My husband's been collecting rainwater for his plants that he has inside that he's been working on. This is some ivy over here and another fragrant tea olive. Our property goes just behind this hedge and this fence. There's my husband, Steve. These are some gardenia bushes here. And this is a pond that I put in about, I believe, 17, 18 years ago. And we just put in a new liner last year. I just started digging one day and said I wanted a pond, so I did just that. A lot of work, but it is so peaceful. And I can see my helleborus right here is starting to bloom. I've got a camellia right there, and then some jasmine growing right over here. This is a bird bath back here that my neighbor had in her yard, and she wasn't really doing anything with it, so I asked her if she'd be willing to sell it, and she said, yeah, you can actually just have it. So we are going to be doing a project on that. My husband's going to repair it, and I'm going to patch it up and make it look beautiful. It is close to 100 years old. These are some mountain laurels that we got up in North Georgia. We're zone 8, and we're here in kind of mid-east Georgia, and here are some, let's see, I can't think of the name of that plant, but see, you've got some ferns here and some ivy and some other plants here. Sorry, I'm new to the whole gardening, but here is the pond. I've got to clean that out in the springtime, but just wanted to show you kind of what it's looking like right now. It is so peaceful. So the other part of that property backs up to our house, and so we have a pretty big lot, 3/4 of an acre. It's in a neighborhood that backs up to a large piece of property, and then we take hikes through the woods sometimes, and then my husband's building this shed to put in our gardening equipment, ladders, bikes, etc. And that back there is a tree house that he built our son when he was 4. Anyway, if you would like this video, and there's more to come, and have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.